Hey, thanks a lot.
Greetings, this is Scholar Saunders Singh. What's current? Well, we lost another one. A great man, great boxing legend, entrepreneur. Mr. George Foreman died at age 76. He will be remembered for his ability in the ring as well as outside the ring as a family man, a businessman, and I think, anybody that's within my age range or older, if you're from the millennial back, maybe Gen Z probably may not remember, but I remember the Foreman Grill. That's the first thing that came to mind is the Foreman Grill, because I never saw him box. I don't think I've ever seen him box. But that Foreman Grill was always on the counter. The lean, mean, fat fight. I think it's fat fighting grilling machine or something like that. And he introduced us to the world. He was a shrewd businessman because he made it sold over 100 million units worldwide, and he had a percentage. I think it was a 40% stake in it, and he sold his shares, I think, of $138 million. So that's pretty good business. I say that's pretty good business. He like I said, he was a family man. He had 7 daughters and 5 sons, famous for naming his sons George. There's George the First, there's George the Second, George the Third, George the Fourth, and George the Fifth, and they all had different nicknames. I think that is pretty cool. I would rather do that if I were going to have so many sons or something like that. Just name like a whole fleet of Schuyler's, Schuyler the First, Schuyler the Second, stuff like that. He championed a lot of different things beyond the ring. He was a Christian. I'm an atheist. I respect the fact that he was a Christian. He had his own church. He was a pastor in Texas. So I think that's pretty amazing that he was able to have some kind of sense of spirituality. Now, I don't approve of his spirituality, but at least he had something there. There was something that he could glean and find some kind of meaning in. He was a born again Christian. He had an awakening, as they call it. He has some kind of a mystical revelation or something like that, and that drew him to the church. So I have to give him that much credit, even though I am an atheist, of course. It's interesting to see. Let's see if we can just play this video. He talks about fighting Ali.
Oh, look at it. Boom.
Says at age 45, reclaimed the heavyweight belt in a comeback that made him the oldest boxer to win.
I call it the mugging in the jungle. That's where I went in as the heavyweight champion, and I left there without my belts. He took my title from me, and it was a strange thing to fight someone you've admired for so many years. Although all I wanted to do was to knock him out, he was still the toughest man I'd been in the ring with. I beat him up a couple of rounds. He got me, and then all of a sudden, when I really thought he was at his lowest point, he whispered, "That all you got, George? Show me something." I said, "I can't wait to get this conversation over with."
See, I was just a little highlight.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking news and top stories on the NBC News app or follow us on social media.
That was just a little bit of a taste of what he was putting out there into the universe. That Rumble in the Jungle was something fierce, because and then of course he was the one that put Joe Frazier on the mat, and that's what caused legendary commentator Howard Cosell to say, "Down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier, down goes Frazier." So we have to remember him for that. Always look at it from a clear-eyed view. You know, that's what I think is so cool about his legacy. Is the fact that he achieved so much in his life. 76. I have to say it again. That's capitalism. That is capitalism. Capitalism, capitalism, capitalism. That's all capitalist society. He was in America as a black man. As a black man in America, was able to achieve, to do great things, all because of capitalist ideals, all because of not just making money, but the freedom, the liberty, you know, freedom of movement, freedom to have, you know, his entrepreneurial, ideas. You know, that means a lot. That is truly, a part of the American fabric. And he was part of that. He's part of the American fabric because he could have just, been a mugger. He started out as a mugger in his early years. And then he said, you know what, I'm going to turn my life around. I'm going to do something right. Boxing may not be the most pretty sport, may not be the most, it could be very violent, could be very vicious. And, the damage it does to the body and mind can be tremendous. But at least he found it to be a positive and a way out of a life that would have been, would have led him down to the wrong way, would have been the wrong pathway. So I think it is it's powerful, his story. His story is very powerful. And like I said, those Foreman grills, I mean, they worked. I mean, you could see the fat dripping off. But this is the weird thing. It's like you want the fat. That's what's ironic. You want the fat in a keto diet. The fat is good. Calories and carbohydrates are bad, but fat is good. So it's a little bit ironic. And maybe that's why, George Foreman grills aren't as popular as they once were, because you want to keep the fat. Those grills make, they squish out the fat. They overheat and not overheat, but they heat up and squish the fat out. So that's a problem. So I think it's really a something that we have to view and talk about and see about. Understand. George Foreman, dead at 76. I mean, 76. A lot of people are saying that's young. 76 is young. That's beautiful. I mean, I'm not parading that he died. I'm just saying it's a clear indication of the power of capitalism. That we had so many technical and medical advances and so many different things in this world, so many intellectual leaps, that have been able to sustain someone's life all the way to 76 and still say, hey, he could have been 96. He could have been 106. That's the real, way it goes. But, it stemmed from, his wealth stemmed from, of course, the Foreman grills, way more than he ever made. Salute, King. Salute to you, sir. Happy Saturday. I'm reading. I'm looking. I'm trying to type up King's. Peace up, sir. Peace up. Yeah. When did you first hear the news about George Foreman? When did you first hear the news? When did you first hear it? I know you didn't just hear it first from me. Please tell me you didn't hear it from me first. But yeah, so that was my child, because I'm like, you had to put the dots together, like George Foreman. That was, wait a minute, didn't he box? Like, that was the thing that came to mind when I was younger. I was like, wasn't he a boxer? What's he doing making grills? And then I remember the infomercials he's in. He's like, putting his hands up like this, like we're ready to fight all the fat. Okay, you posted it too. Okay, great. King Hazy says, yesterday evening I posted it too. Okay, so Yeah. Because I was looking at hip hop stuff. I was like, not interested. They're talking about Ye. I'm not talking about Ye. I'm not going to give him that much shine. I might say his name once or twice, but I'm not going to give him that much shine until he agrees to apologize to the Jewish community and the FBA community. He has yet to do that wholeheartedly and without any pretense. So that's what I'm waiting on. So anyway, I'm talking about George Foreman this whole episode because I think he was he's worth talking about. I mean, I knew of him. If I didn't do a Roy Ayers episode, I just think I said, in passing, Roy Ayers died. I know Tyler the Creator loved him. He was completely enamored by his skills and his abilities, and he was a genius, Roy Ayers. But I didn't know him like that. I didn't know of him like that. I knew of George Foreman. I knew those infomercials. I remember seeing, you can hear the sizzle of the steak or the hamburger or whatever the case may have been. And you saw, the crowds were watching. They do a close up and they showed the fat dripping off into this pan or basin or something like that. Now everybody's like, "Oh yeah, it works. It works. It works. It's going down in the pan. Look at all that fat. Just look at it. Look at that fat going down in the pan. Oh my God, look at that. It's amazing." So that's just enlivened me and motivated me to do this post all about George Foreman, because it just, one of the things that amazed me was in my research of him, he said the greatest achievement in his career, in his professional life, was winning the gold medal. That's for the Olympics. And the irony is Floyd Mayweather had a bronze in the Olympics, and he had a perfect record, 50-0. Now, Foreman had a great record. I think he was like, hold on, I'm 100% sure. He had 5 losses, and let me see how many wins he had. Let's see how many wins. He had a total of 81 fights, 76 wins, 68 by knockout, and 5 losses. So that's pretty good. That's really good, actually. That's like excellent. He won in Mexico City in 1968. He was in the heavyweight class. They called him Big George. He won the world heavyweight title with a stunning second-round knockout of the then undefeated Joe Frazier in 1973. And then, of course, the Rumble in the Jungle in the following year, where he lost his belt to Muhammad Ali. That's all you got, George? That's what he said. That's all you got? He said, that's all you got? I just rejoice at the fact that he was 76 years old. In America, black man, can't cry, can't shed a tear. I can't shed a tear. He was a very wealthy black man in America. I don't even know what his health problems were. I don't know if it was complications from something or he just, passed in his sleep. I didn't get the news on that, how exactly he died. I can check it out though. Hold on. It just says Foreman died at a Houston hospital on March 21st, 2025 at the age of 76. So it didn't go into the particulars. He yielded an estimated total of over 200 million just from the endorsement through 2011. This is the 40% I was talking about of the profits on each grill sold, earning him $4.5 million a month in payouts at its peak. So it kind of subsided. People changed their ideas. More so the keto diet, where keto diet really favors fat, like I said before. The grilling machine really wasn't, the hot ticket after a while. I think they stopped the infomercials. I don't think they even, prior to his death, I'm sure they stopped them a few years ago. I think they stopped around the time that he relinquished his rights to the company. I think it was in 2011. Like I just said there. Yeah, this is all beautiful. This is all capitalism. This is all about capitalism. You know, it's the free market. It's the free market. We don't live in a capitalist country. Don't get it twisted. This is not a capitalist country. We're a mixed country. We have mixed with some elements of capitalism and a lot of controls and regulations. So we're not fully capitalist. So don't get that twisted. I think with his ability in the ring matched with his business acumen, that really helped to spur along his position as a figure in American history. He's an American historical figure. There's probably gonna be, there hasn't been a movie about him. There will be a movie about him one day. I'm sure there will be. Just about him. Like there's an Ali movie. There's a different movies about Hurricane boxer. I can't remember his full name, but Denzel Washington played him. I think there's gonna be a Foreman movie. I mean, it just makes sense. I just love the entrepreneurial spirit. I love his ability to recognize like I made a lot of money in boxing, but this grilling machine, I don't know. I think I can work with this. I can do something with this. And he just rolled it out. He was very professional. I remember he was comedic. He was humorous. He really, showed himself to be a gentleman and a scholar of various techniques for presenting himself in the marketplace. And to die at 76 years, especially for a black man to die at 76 years. What is the average for a black man to die? Let me see. Average lifespan of black. He just cut it. He was just about to make it. In 2022, 77.43 years was the average age of a black male. Let me make sure that. No, it's 72 years. Okay, so that's for the white male or for the average male. Everybody put together. For a black male, it's 72 years. So you can beat it by 4 years. That's pretty amazing. That's an achievement. If you want to say something, that's definitely an achievement. So it's very strong for him to say that he admired Muhammad Ali. He called it the mugging in the jungle instead of the rumble in the jungle because he got his belt taken from him. Fair and square, though. You have to be objective. He got his Muhammad Ali earned his belt. But that is the amazing part of our capitalist like society, not capitalist, not fully capitalist, but capitalist like society. It just tells you that if you were 76 years old 300 years ago, are you serious? You were like a decrepit old nothing. He was like still young and vigorous and going. He might, I don't know. Did he have a heart attack? It says he died. Let me see if I can look it up. How? Saying what we know about the legends, cause of death. It says in 1994, George Foreman launched the George Foreman Grill, and over 100 million grills have been sold. At the time of his death, Foreman was said to have been worth $300 million. That's not too bad. That's not bad at all. In 2014 interview with AARP, the publication asked, estimates are that you earned in excess of $200 million on the grill. True? Foreman replied, much more. There were months I was being paid $8 million per month. $8 million a month. That's like Paul McCartney divorce money. That's good money. That's great money. Are you kidding me? People that make $8 million a year are doing well. Just think about making $8 million a month. While it is unclear if George Foreman was sick before his death at age 76, his family said in a statement that he was surrounded by loved ones. That's nice. He died in the hospital. Cause of death is unknown so far. He's a proud father and great-grandfather and great-grandfather. He was a humanitarian. He was an Olympian and two-time heavyweight champion of the world. He was deeply respected, a force for good, a man of discipline, conviction, and a protector of his legacy, fighting tirelessly to preserve his good name for his family. Oh, that's sad. One of his daughters died of a suicide in 2019. That's sad. Damn. Yeah, that's definitely depressing and very distressing to know that one of his children died by suicide. So, but he did all he could. He did the right thing. A lot of people look down on boxing. I love boxing. I mean, I don't like boxing itself. I like to watch boxers. Like, it's fun to watch. It was fun, a whole lot of fun to watch Mayweather. And I love the fact that people hated on Mayweather so much. They're like, nah, he's going down this one. I'm betting against him again. He's going to lose this one. Nah, I can't wait till he gets dropped. He's going to get dropped. Every time he came out, I don't know how much money somebody made from him, but somebody made some good money off him or lost a whole lot from him because he just kept winning. But that's like Mr. Foreman. Mr. Foreman was like that too. He was a winner. He only had 5 losses out of 81 fights. That's amazing. He's definitely in the ring. I think it's called Ringside, the World Boxing Organization. All those accolades, all those acclaimed boxing magazines. He's definitely in between those pages. Rob 3000-ish. Salute to you, sir. Salute to Rob 3000-ish. Hurricane is movie with Denzel Washington. Yes. Sky, you kind of look like the nigga George Foreman. I used to cook cocaine on those. I was just about to say. Jadakiss said, first nigga cooked crack on the Foreman Grill. Grills, the return was immaculate. Yes, it was. It was beautiful. His bank account caught the Holy Ghost. It got happy. $8 million a month. I mean, I know that's not a whole lot in today's money. People like Elon Musk has like $400 billion, and he gets like $1 billion a month or something like that. I don't even know how much he gets a month, but something like crazy like that. It's like $600 million a month, something like that. But yeah, those girls are the truth. But I'm trying to remember his real name. It was a real person. Hurricane. I'm looking it up. Hurricane. Reuben Carter. That's his name. Reuben Carter. He went to prison. Reuben Carter. Yeah. Reuben Hurricane Carter was an American-Canadian middleweight boxer who was wrongfully convicted and imprisoned for murder and until released following a petition of habeas corpus after almost 20 years in prison. God damn. Woo. He died at 76 years old too. A black man in America was wrongly convicted. You can kind of shed a tear off of that. I'm not going to shed a tear off of him, but just to give you an example, Yeah, those grills, man. That's the third thing that comes to mind. That's the first thing I was like, damn, he had the Foreman grills. I didn't even think about his boxing. I didn't think about his boxing career. and no clue, you know, how many statistics and, you know, his reach and his weight class and all that. I knew he was a heavyweight, but I didn't know, you know, who else he fought besides Frazier and Ali. But it's a testament to the fact that he was so much of a charismatic and very confident a man. He showed himself to be a very powerful figure. Showed himself to be a powerful figure. So I have to give him credit where credit is due. I have to give him credit for being a man of the cloth. Just to be a man of the cloth, just to have that respect. I have respect. I don't agree or approve of people that go after mysticism, whether it be, you know, a organized faith or, you know, just on your own. They call it now spiritual. I'm spiritual. You're not really spiritual. You're mystical. You're not really spiritual. Spiritual is a sense your intelligence, your mind, your thought processes. You know, that's spiritual. Not going to the feet of some deity or, you know, having some, you know, chakra or what is it called? I don't know. It's sage and, you know, putting it around your house and stuff like that. Crazy stuff like that. But, you know, I respect it, but I don't approve of it. I don't agree with it in my own life. That's the difference. But he was a pastor. He pastored a church in Texas. I think it was actually in Houston, Texas. From I think 1980 through, you know, to a good amount of the 80s and maybe into the 90s. Like I said, he had some kind of faith-based recognition of who he wanted to be instead of just be known as a boxer. Let me see what else he has. Okay. Some of this stuff. Filmography. He was on The Masked Singer, for God's sakes, 3 years ago. Venus Flytrap. Hall of Fame night. It's funny. So you can have fun. He had fun with his celebrity. It's not showing his not showing in a humanitarian. Let me see other works. He served as an executive producer on Big George Foreman. So there was a movie out, a 2023 Christian film called Big George Foreman, based on his sporting and spiritual life. He had 4 previous marriages. He was married 5 times. So here are the sons' nicknames: George Jr., George II, Monk, George IV, Big Wheel, George V, Red, George VI, Little Joey. He on his website it says Foreman explains, I named all my sons George Edward Foreman so they would always have something in common. I say to them, if one of us goes up, then we all go up together. If one of us goes down, we all go down together. George III has pursued a career in boxing and entrepreneurship. George IV appeared on his 2nd season of the reality television series American Grit, where he was placed 7th. He has 7 daughters. He had 12 kids in all. That's crazy. His 5th daughter was, like I said earlier, was killed herself in 2019. I guess the cool thing on YouTube says unalived herself. I guess it's to prevent you from getting in trouble. I don't know. She was 42 years old. That's really sad. In recognition of Foreman's patriotism and community service, the American Legion honored him with its James V. Day Good Guy Award during its 95th National Convention in 2013. Okay, here we go. It was a great product for its time. I still have it. I still have one. Yeah, I think we have two. There's a small one and then there's the larger one. I think I used it within the last 5 years. He didn't invent, but exactly, he didn't invent, but he invested. Exactly, it wasn't his product, but they slapped, George Foreman's name on. Oh yeah, well, by golly, let's go buy it. Invested in a slanted panini press. He didn't invent, but you also have to evaluate those earnings. Say $8 million a month by that year's dollar value. True. In 1998, $8 million would be $15.7 million in 2025. Thank you for doing the calculation on that, sir. My stupid self wouldn't be able to do that with mathematics. I don't know. You could have put it in a calculator. I didn't do that. I just said what he said back in 1998. It's about the Foreman Grill. This whole episode is about capitalism. It's about the fact that he was able to live to the age of 76. That is called quality of life, standard of living, and longevity. That's because of capitalism. Like I said, 300 years ago, if you were 76 years old, you would be an old, decrepit, just nothing, and they'll probably hail you. They're like, oh my God, he's 76 years old. I'm only 49. I got a few more years left. Bumbleclad in the house. Salute to you, sir. Salute to Bumbleclad. Salute to you. Appreciate you for coming in. But so just those Foreman Grills. It just makes me feel better. Just like says, he made good. He made good on his life. When I'm gonna try to say, he fought the good fight and he didn't lose. He was a boxer and he kept on with the fists up. Never lost his stamina. Never lost his mind. Always kept on the grind. That's just a preview. I might do a little bit later. But so yeah, George Foreman, one of the real ones. Couldn't be, that's in my stash of things I thought were always true. This is one of the things I thought were always true. I think I can get at least 4, maybe 3. Number 3, I thought there were no such thing as women Marines, and that all women stayed home and had babies while men went to war. That's what I thought. I just thought that was true. And then I said that if you were young and you died young, you were going to live forever. If you not died young, you'd have lived forever. That's 2. And I just forgot the other one. So there you go. You got 2. I'll come back with another one. Just remind me of that. Hold on 1 second. So I think with the fact that there's a definite, linkage between all of this, I think it's very important to point out that we have a man who was very conscientious of who he was. He was very aware of what he wanted to do with his life. I think that's pretty astounding. Like I said, a lot of people may look down upon boxing because, for whatever reason, maybe if Ali wasn't a boxer, would he still have had his medical complications? Would he still have been unable to speak and unable to move properly as a result of Parkinson's? And there's differences there too. There's Parkinson's disease and there's Parkinson's syndrome. And I always confuse it. Michael J. Fox either has Parkinson's disease and Muhammad Ali had Parkinson's syndrome. I think that's the difference. Something like that. His grills are going to go up in price. Yeah, definitely now. Yeah, I can see that happening. If I find the box and I find that little basin, I'm wrapping it up and I'm selling that thing in honor of George Foreman. That's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wrap it up and definitely sell it over on Craigslist. Is there even still Craigslist? I don't even think there's Craigslist anymore, but maybe Amazon or something, or eBay or something like that. I don't know, but yeah, they're probably going to go for a good penny. Probably go for a good penny. I can see that happening. But yeah, so I mean, I don't think a lot of people saying like, "Oh, it's a shame he's only remember Phil's grills." No, it's not. That brought him so much money and happiness. Are you kidding me? That brought him so much joy. To have his name on a product, and people just saying, "Well, hey, I never even used the product before, but I think this is going to work because it's got George Foreman. He's co-signed. He's put a stamp on it. I might as well see what this thing is about." And he sold 100 million units. Like if you sell 100 million units of anything, it's crazy, but that's really a lot of money. Because like if you sold 100 million records, that's like maybe 30 or 40 million dollars, maybe, because it's like it's very low exchange rate for I'm saying in the physical realm, back when there were CDs and stuff like that, because it's hard to tell now. Streaming, you have a billion streams, and what does a billion streams equate to? Maybe $1 million, $2 million, something like that, $3 million, $10 million at the most, maybe at that. If you have over a billion streams, it's over a billion streams. So we have to look at that. Route 3000-ish said, okay, when Bumblecloud said something, I like that episode of King of the Hill he was in. I didn't even realize that. I didn't know he was in the King of the Hill, but he's from Texas, so it makes sense. You have that, well, okay. Route 3000-ish says, you have to have cleaning tool that came the very easy, clean, slanted panini press. Yes, you did. You gotta have that tool. You gotta have that little black tool with the brush. You got, and then you had the little plastic. That is a little plastic piece that you have to scratch the surface. Get all the extra all the cooked pieces off of the grill. And you just wash that and go shh. You put it on there. Then you get a paper towel and you put you wipe it down. That's what it is. That's how you do it. I remember those days. I used to cook all the time. I used to put hot dogs on there, hamburgers. Like you said, the panini press. I don't even think I made a panini, but I remember hot dogs and hamburgers all the time. And it was always delicious. I mean, and nutritious in a sense, I guess. But like I said, fat is good. You want fat if you're part of the keto diet. Calories and sugar and carbohydrates are the devil. And the devil knows his own. That episode of King of the Hill with George Foreman was hilarious. Wow. I didn't see it. Y'all got to send me a link or something like that. Send me a link. Oh, none of y'all have. Well, Bumblecloud, send me a link. You have a wrench. Send me a link. I'll watch it. Matter of fact, let me put that in so I don't forget. George. Hank Hill meets George Foreman. That's pretty funny. Yeah, so there was a George. That's a good show. King of the Hill. I remember there was one show with another person that died within the last few months. Jimmy Carter. They were saying like he was like they're comparing him to Jesus Christ. They put his initials up. They're like, oh, Jesus Christ? No, Jimmy Carter. Like it was funny. So yeah, so Foreman, George Foreman, Mr. George Foreman, dead at 76 because of capitalism. All because of capitalism. All because of the advancements, the thinking, the ability to have longer lives, his ability to be very conscientious about his dieting, his regimen, his weightlifting, all that coincided with his abilities to be a great entrepreneur and a great sportsman. So I can't shed a tear for him. I can't shed a tear. Black man in America made hundreds of millions of dollars. Can't shed a tear for that. I respect that. I salute that. Can't shed a tear for it. I think that's a beautiful thing. If you can live to 76, that's 4 years more than the average black man in America. Come on. Let's be real. If I live to be 76, I'll be too thrilled. I'll be too happy. I mean, our chances are, it depends because COVID kind of skewed the numbers and said, it made the numbers go down for everybody, for women, for men, for black, white, brown, Latino, Hispanic, red people, yellow people, all kinds of people. It kind of went down a little bit because of COVID hit. But I think it's going to make a rebound. I think it's going to return to the original numbers. So it's not a sad thing. This isn't sad. This is very glad. Not that he died, but that he lived. That's the good part. He lived. It seemed like he lived a full life. To me, I don't know about his personal life. He had five marriages, but he had 7 kids. So he wasn't just beating up, people in the ring. That's the only thing. They weren't the only thing he was beating up. So, George Foreman was busy. Let's just say that much. He was busy outside the ring with the ladies. So I think it is a powerful idea to see him in his element. And you still wait. He when did he age? He looked like the same age from 1998 to now. He didn't look like he aged. He looked like the same George Foreman for years. Something took him. Maybe it was a bug. I don't know. We don't know. We don't know the cause of death. We just know he was in the hospital for a brief time. I don't think it was an extended period. He was in the hospital for a brief spell, and he just slipped away at 76. Like I said, look at the 1700s, and especially for black people. Oh my God, black people, slaves, mainly. Not everybody was a slave, by the way. Not all the founding fathers were slave owners. Some of them were, and some of them released their slaves after the revolution. That's a true statement. But their life expectancy was like what, 48, 50, maybe, if that, maybe 39, 40. But we have so many advancements. We have so many different ways of targeting and pinpointing diseases and the way that they function, and see that we completely eradicate different cancers, and see that we find different diseases and stop them before they progress, all because of capitalism. It's the only reason. All because of the capitalistic society. Not capitalist, but capitalistic. Yeah, okay, King says, yo, I'm here. I'm just in the house running back and forth. Salute to you, sir. You do work. You put in work. You're on the road, so do what you gotta do, King. Salute to you, sir. That was King Hazy who said that. Yo, I'm here. I'm just in the house running back and forth. So I look towards, George Foreman as somebody that, inspired me. He was inspiration to me. I was like looking at like, what? You can do that? You don't have to invent something. You just put your name on it. You take 40%. That's not even less than half. The inventor got 60%. So he's like a billionaire probably, but that is fair. It's his invention. But he's like, I gotta have somebody to sell this thing. Who's gonna sell this thing? George Foreman. He's the lean, mean fighting machine, Let me look that up. What was it called? Yeah, the lean, mean grilling machine. That's what the George Foreman Lean Mean Fat Reducing Grilling Machine is. A portable double-sided electrically heated grill that was promoted by two-time world heavyweight boxing champion George Foreman. It is a non-stick coated grill that can grill burgers, chicken, fish, fajitas, and steak in minutes. Yeah, steak too. I used to have the minute steaks. It has a unique patented and contact design that grills evenly. It also has a thermostat controlled ready light to help you know when the grill is ready. I don't remember that on mine. Did I? That was there? I'm trying to remember that. I just kept on lifting it, seeing if it was done or not. Is it black? Is it dark? Is the red going? The grill has variable temperature control, is easy to clean, and has grooves that channel excess fat and grease into a separate tray. Okay, tray, yeah. I'm thinking about basin. I'm thinking about something else. It's a tray. It also has a floating hinge design that can accommodate thick to thin chops, burgers, fillets, and more. The grill has an 8-inch by 12-inch grilling surface and can cook both sides of food. It has embedded heating elements that grill food fast and evenly, and a patented sloped grill design that keeps food above and away from grease, fat, and other excess liquids. And they're going. Walmart, $110.88. eBay, $146.78. They're like $40 or $50. One moment. Okay, so I'm gonna just say on this on this point, George Foreman, great guy, excellent man, wonderful entrepreneur, one of the best capitalists in all of history. Great person, and I don't believe in heaven or hell or anything like that, but wherever his existence has stopped, but his memory will continue. So I thank you for watching, everybody that came in. I'll see you sometime tomorrow. Take care.